All right, guys, welcome. This is Paul McMillan II. Welcome to another back testing session. So it is March 27, 2023. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over the trade that I did this morning in the New York session. We end up actually winning that trade on the sell. So I'm going to kind of go into exactly how I came to that conclusion. And then we'll do a few more examples on how we actually trade supply and demand on top with the DeLorean EMA indicator. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually turn off these two EMAs here. Then I'm going to activate my backtest tool because I jumped in the trade really around the 9:30 candle. So I'll push all the way back to the 9:50. Really, I'm going to push all the way to the 9 o'clock candle. So we kind of see that there. For this day 45. This is the 9 o'clock candle here. So I'm going to erase everything that I did, right? And then we're going to do our normal analysis. I'm going to go over that, and then I'm going to explain how I got in. So give me a second here. So typically when I actually do my normal analysis, I mark up from the 15-minute time frame all the way to the 15-minute time frame and scale back to the 15 and then make my decision depending on the supply and demand structure. So let's go ahead and get started on that. We're back as far as price goes, so we want to put a vertical line here. Let me say my progress. So when we analyze price here, we can see that price hit this area as a huge demand. So this attracted a lot of buyers in this area. Price tested this area, pushed up, and came back and tested this area. And then it's been on the upswing ever since then. And then we see that price tested this area once again, because you can actually see this wick here. Price tested this area, and then all of a sudden the buyers just pushed the bulls out. I mean, the buyers pushed the bears out and pushed price all the way up. So the sellers lost control. And then we can see there's another retest here. Another retest here. We got another strong here. That's why price came down, tested this liquidity area and pushed all the way up to there. And then we have a solid zone there. Price tested this area as a demand, but then when it got to this level and broke through, it tested it as supply, pushed price all the way down here. And then we can see that there's a strong supply up in this area here. So now we're going to draw our supply and demand zones in these areas. So that way we can get a little bit more distinct view on how price is interacting with these strong areas, because these are areas where the banks will really, these are the areas where banks are really grabbing a lot of liquidity and they're making the big moves. All right, so we've got these areas here. And then we can see that there is a valid zone down in this area here. And also down here. All right, so we're going to mark these areas. So now we're going to go on ahead to the 30-minute. So we're going to go to the 30-minute. So we're going to go all the way back to where we left off in our markups. So this is where the last vertical line was. Now we got to get these areas here. So I'm going to put our vertical line over here. Here we see that there was a strong supply here. So we'll make this green. Then put it up to here. So now we'll draw zones in the areas here. So let me change this to green. And of course, when we move, we see that price went all the way down and then eventually came all the way back up. So let's switch over to the 1 hour for this one. So this is where the last vertical line was. So now we got to mark up to this here. We did this. And then, so we see that there is a valid zone here. Make this red. Matter of fact, this is all we have to do. Yeah, red. Right. Now we're going to move to the 4 hour. This is another area that can map out, but we put that out here. So let's switch this to post. Let's just switch the other thing to this. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that. So now we're on the 4 hour. And this is where current price is at. So you can see that it's really testing this last supply zone here. Okay. So now that we see that there is a bearish engulfing candle, that kind of gives us a sign that price is going to go bearish. So then if we see, since we see that, we go back to the 15-minute time frame. And then what we would do here is, you see that price is really resting up against that supply zone like usual. So then what I typically do is I basically mark up supply demand market structure a little bit more. So we see that price was really testing this area. Went up, tested this area again, went up, and then finally tested this area, pushed up. You can also see that price tested this supply zone multiple times as well. So you can see that there are two solid zones between here and here. So that's why I put my zone at. Now, at this point, I see that price is overall bearish because we see that price hit this area and went down. This low is lower than this previous low, then this low got lower, hit this, and now it's testing this area again. And so it makes sense that price would actually come back down some more. So at that point, I would draw trend line here. And I would expect price to test this area and then push down. And possibly maybe even sell and break this structure and create a swing low in this area and then go up. That's what I would expect. And then maybe would eventually probably push all the way down in here and then push up. And then probably wipe out this previous high here, a swing high here, and then push down even further. So it's kind of like, you know, when price rejected this area, pushed down, and then it bought up, and this high broke this previous high here. It went up, tested again, came down. And so more likely there's probably a strong zone in this area as well, maybe. But it would probably come down in this area and swing around. So I would say price would probably come down and swing around, maybe down in this area or maybe down to here and push out. So what I did was I went ahead. At first, I was thinking it was probably going to buy. Well, let me back up. I came to the conclusion that price was going to sell short term and then buy it and then going up in this area and then buy it up. So I was going to go for the buy first, but then I decided to switch my bias and to go for the short sell since I had plenty of time to catch that before it hit here and go buy up. So with that being said, so I put my risk to reward tool up here. And then I decided my goal was to get at least over 350 points worth of loss. And then if I stayed in the trade long enough, then probably trying to get all this liquidity down here. So that's what I was looking for. So that's what I was kind of looking at. So we're going to turn on the Deloitte EMA indicator. Now I use this indicator as extra confirmation. So anytime the yellow EMA crosses the red EMA and the blue EMA, then that's a solid trend, whether it's going past that, going down or up. In this case, the yellow EMA was about to cross over. So we're going to do the replay tool and kind of look at that. So this is the 9:15 candle. So I marked all the way up until this candle, and then I waited for this candle to come out. And so then I waited for the 9:30 candle to come in, and then I waited for my entry. So then price started to push down. I didn't jump in yet. And then once price kind of got down to this point, that's when I kind of jumped in. And it fluctuated for a while, but it really sold, and then eventually it dropped to this point, right? So I got in at this point, and I did a $100 demo. So I traded at the lowest lot size for Nas. So I made $17, okay, on this move here. So price did that. Now, price came back up, tested this area. So this was actually a fake move. So, I mean, we could have bought up on this move and then jumped out, but this is really a fake move. So this here was actually a bull trap. They were coming up to get all kinds of liquidity so they could knock out the retail traders before going the other way. So then once price did that, then it started to sell down again, and then it really sold this time. And you can see that the Deloitte EMA confirmed it because the yellow EMA was starting to stick out past both EMAs, the blue and the red one. So then, there we go, price really drops. So from this point, from this candle here, price already been dropped about over 500 points, 530 plus points, okay? So then you can see that price dropped even further, and look at that. So it's testing this zone here. You can see how it went down. So it went down for a total of 983 points. So it was a very good, decent sell. But it dropped even further. See that? And so now this is proof that that we have a solid zone here. The price is testing that area multiple times. And then it started to buy up. But it retested that area and pushed on down. So that, and then that's where current price is at. So more than likely now, price is probably going to swing around in this area here, probably test this area and then start to buy it up. And that's what I'm thinking. But that's how I actually won the trade today. And let me go ahead and show you guys my results, and then we'll do a few more examples. So I had jumped to the sell earlier, made $4, but on that move I just showed you guys made $17. So that's why it's a total of over $21, close to 22. And so this was on a $100 account for Nas and a demo. So that's the result that I got. So now we're going to go ahead and do a few more examples. Well, for the second example, we're going to do AUD USD and already activated the replay tool. So let's switch to the 4 hours. So I'm not going to do the full analysis. I'm just going to start from the 4 hour and then work back to the 15-minute. And all we're doing is marking up supply and demand. So what we're looking at is we're looking for the areas where price actually tested supply demand areas and made huge moves. So it's kind of like here. Price tested this area, pushed on up. And then you got another area here where price hit this area multiple times and pushed up. All right. And then we got it right up in here, pushed up and pushed all the way down to here. And then we got it up here. And so then I'm going to put my zones here. Probably don't really need to put my zones here. I'm really looking at the current price. But that's what we'll do. So then we got that marked up. So now we're going to go to the 15-minute time frame. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark up those areas. So we see price hit this area, shot on up. Same thing here. And then you got another area all the way up here where price tested this area multiple times. We're only going to focus on current price. Probably this area probably doesn't really even matter, but I'll go ahead and mark it up. So you can see that price broke the structure. The structure looks like it's going to swing low, so it looks like it's buying up from here. So price probably might wipe out this previous high and then maybe come back down. So price is probably maybe overall bearish at this point. You see it's going down. We're testing this area here. Then going down, testing this area, coming down. So it might come all the way up and then maybe test this area, come back down. So then I will put myself here. Catch it on the swing low and catch it swinging down. Now, there's a possibility the price probably would buy up and go up to here, and then you can catch it there. And then it will probably test around this area and then come back down. So let's go ahead and test that now. Yep, so it bought up. So it's probably going to buy back up in that area. Yep, and then it drops. So this drops 36 pips. So depending on the lot size, that could be some decent change. But let's see. And then it bought up a little bit more. And at that point, it probably might buy up because it's probably testing its demand area. So now there's, the buyers are looking at this as an opportunity to buy. But nope, sold again. So from here, sold all the way down to 36 pips. And sold again. So there you go. And this proves that this was a very solid demand zone here. And we were correct. So we're going to do one more example and then we'll wrap it up. For our last example, we're going to do gold. We're going to start on a 4-hour time frame, and again, we're marking up supply and demand market structure. So we're looking for areas where price really respected a supply and demand area, and then and then made a huge move. So you can see that there was a supply area, price pushed up and down, and then probably pushed up again. Probably push up against this again and go down. You see that there is a strong area there. That's why price created a lot of imbalance there. So we're going to only focus on current price. So now let's go to the 15-minute time frame. All right. So we see that price respected this area, so there's a strong demand there. And then we see that there's a strong zone in this area as well. Because price tested this area multiple times, so you can see it tested this area, pushed down here, tested up to here, a little bit of consolidation upon the push down, and then pushed all the way down to this area. And then when it tested this area, pushed down, tested this area, pushed down, consolidated, pushed down, and really quick. And really pushed to the downside, and then tested this demand area and pushed up. So then it would make sense that price would probably test this area and attract a lot of sellers and then push down again. So in this case, I would say that price is overall bearish. So then I would put my risk reward tool up here. My goal would be to get all that liquidity down here. That's what I would be doing. So if price started to drop here, then I would get this much in gold. But if it dropped from this candle here, get this much in gold. We're going to do that. So let's go ahead and test it out and see what happens. So let's do that. That price might be selling, but let's see if it's correct. It might come up and test that demand, that supply area a lot more, and then drop. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, that's more like it. So really more, I was close, but not too bad because, you know, price, oops. How do I, yeah, there you go. So even though price tested up in this area a lot more, which it makes sense, it still shot down and then eventually it went to my entry level. So even if I waited for it to go to my entry level, right, it started dropping all the way down to here, which is still over 1,000 points in gold. Depending on your last side, they would have been a huge payday. Let's see how much farther it went. Yep, really dropped. So overall bearish still. So that just goes to show that we were correct in our analysis. So yep, and then of course it's going to hit a demand and it's probably going to buy back up, possibly. Yep. So then you probably could pop that. Definitely not an entry there. So yeah, now it's starting to go overall goodness. Yep. So that's it for this back testing session, guys. We're gonna hit the live session tomorrow, and then going to be another back testing session then. So thank you for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.